All right, everybody, let's get right to it on a Tuesday. Big shout out. What's going on, chat? How you doing today? Let's get right to it. Really quick, the business. I announced this last week, but you got to get there now. Now it's time to take advantage of the Black Friday deal. 30% off our software, annual or purchase. So the good thing is that anybody wants to take a free trial, get it now. Take the free trial for 2 weeks. You still have time. The only adjustment that I think I need to do is I probably need to move the Harmonic Pattern Crypto 2024 webinar up. Maybe not the 6th, maybe like a week before. We got crypto pulling back a little bit. That's a good thing. That's opportunity coming. We'll get that in a second. So be mindful of that. Go to harmonictrader.com. Best place to go to start. Just go to the main page, become a basic member. And then I talked about this recently. Get the basic membership. That's where it begins. It's all free. You can try all the products and then take the 2 weeks, get acquainted with what we're doing here, and get ready for 2024. That's it. 2024, folks. It's there aren't too many years where I say, get ready for this year, get ready for whatever time, because that really kind of presupposes a whole bunch of things. But we know it's coming. The crypto, it's a cycle year, comes every, it's like freaking Olympics. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Olympics of crypto coming up every 4 years. So there you go. Black Friday special. Do it now. Also, my membership, just to let everybody know, anybody that buys the program or subscribes, you guys get a month, or really till January 1st. And you become a gold member, you see what we do there, the stuff I post on Discord, the ideas, the market reports. It's all about levels. So if you're having trouble with your levels, come on with the harmonic pattern framework and take the time, get your head around it. I'm really upfront about that. Get to the learning curve, get through the learning curve. If you're brand new, get acquainted first. Don't force it. But then once you do, you got the whole strategy. Hold on one second. So let's get right to it for today. Where should we start? None other than Bitcoin, right? How about you guys? What's up with you? What's going on, folks? Go over to Bitcoin here. Awesome. So a little pause. A little, oh my goodness, we're down $1,500 off the high. What are you going to do? You're going to freak out? It's the end of the cycle? No. I think it's an opportunity. What is up here? We've talked about it. The big target one. Now, I've been talking about 37, 38, and it looks like, 38,764 is popping up across the board. And we do have, remember, I traced out this trend channel. Just clipping the top of it. So don't be surprised. We pause here. That we don't moon, that's really not a problem. In fact, you don't want it to moon yet. If it mooned here, then it's probably going to get away from you, where we go immediately through targets. But that's not what's suggesting, and I want to break it down so you understand how important this next oversold test that's coming will be within this trend. Great. Thanks. What's going on? Everybody in the chat, welcome. Thursday, we will give away some gold memberships, maybe even a book. But great to see everybody again. Got a good group here. Brandon, Steven, Mr. Lodak. Where have you been, man? Bingo, Evan, Mark, Tuzi, Daniel Menendez, Carthago, Big Mama. What's up, Big Mama? The rest of everybody else. Really great to have you. We're here Tuesday, Thursday, 12 noon. I'm always late. So 12:10, 12:15. But who's, being on time, I'd rather be a little early or a little late. Anyway, so the levels that we really want to think about for Bitcoin is, let's call it straight up 38,764. That's the big harmonic test. I don't, not a surprise. That's what we've been really talking about, that would be hit by the end of the year. Almost got there. I mean, really close, but close does not cut it. We want that to clip, and then we'll see how much beyond that level can we hit. Oh, it's not a surprise that target 2, and just be aware of it, is at 50,300. I just from experience, crypto likes to overshoot its targets. So I would not be surprised to see target 2 get hit. Let's call it by end of January, or stretch it out before, be conservative, before the halving come March or April. Okay? Just so you know. But how are we going to play this? You guys, all right, I don't have any Bitcoin. I want to FOMO in. What am I going to do? How do I play it? Break it down to a 4-hour. That's probably pretty conservative. And we printed a yellow dot. What was that? Over the weekend? Yellow dot, that's our HSI confirmation. They give it harmonic relative strength, if you will. And we just want to line up and wait for oversold conditions, as we have seen throughout the last few months. 1 and 2, and there's here 3, 4, and now 5. Okay, so plenty of opportunities along the way have triggered. Despite the aggressiveness, we still get plenty of opportunities. All right, really important to know that. Plenty of opportunities along the way, and we're about to get another one. So if that's for Bitcoin, could be somewhere in here, 36, 35.50. A lot of static technicians would look at, say, okay, we'll back test that resistance and then go again. For us, let's look at the indicator screens. And this is where the software, it's a lot of proprietary stuff in here. The bottom screen is not, that's standard RSI, but amplified RSI, that's going to show it in more detail. And let me really blow this up so on the screen it looks good, nice and big, and good visuals. And here we have, there you go. I traced this out yesterday from our folks in the Discord saying, okay, oversold, about to do another pivot here. Come on down. Even like, do a little trend line break. We just broke out this morning, overnight. We're getting close. And that's something where in this aggressive uptrend, it's really easy to get lost and not know, okay, where's the continuation move? Where should I be strategizing for longs within this continued move higher? And this is a great way. The 4-hour time frame, I think, is excellent. So be aware of that. We could come back Thursday and we could see ourselves already triggered a yellow dot and begin the continuation move of the long-term trend. I will not waver from that 38.7 target. Easy now, but we've been talking about that since the low 20s, low 20,000. And it's just, use it as your primary reference. I have talked over and over again of why the Bitcoin allocation cycle is probably more important now for the rest of crypto than ever before. They've always been independent, and I do agree with the argument that Bitcoin is a different creature than all other crypto. I'm not a maximalist. I'm not anything like that. I do have some Bitcoin, but I also agree with the statement that the altcoins are going to be the ones where you have the massive speculative potential to do something larger. But Bitcoin is probably the sure play, and I also won't disagree that to an extent this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everyone is thinking about the allocation cycle, the halving cycle, and money's going to flow back in, even with the spot ETF. And you got people like Michael Saylor who probably will be proven right in the long term. But with everything going on, it is all about Bitcoin to move the rest of the market. We have seen that, especially in the last week, with those altcoins doing insane moves. So great to see everybody. We still have people filing in. Really nice to have everyone here. Again, you guys have any questions about the software or what we do here, best bet is take advantage of the trial. You guys can email me, harmonictrader@gmail.com. But make sure, I did want to say this, you want to send your username for TradingView, specifically TradingView, because I think that's a great starting point, to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Also, Justin, thank you for posting that. I know TradingView they're offering a package for Black Friday on their products. And so if you're going to subscribe to their premium stuff, that is the time. I usually re-up my annual there. So check all of that out. But this is it. 4-hour time frame. Be aware of daily dynamics, which I think is definitely something to consider. Here we are just steadily climbing. We thought even back at 34,000, I was still saying, I think we got to hit target one now. I even tweeted a while back straight to 37,000. I really meant straight to target one. 38,000, 38,700. So be it. But that's still in development, and it's exactly what it should be doing if the cycle is going to be gangbusters. And that's also something I feel is important, because those early bars off of a pattern, harmonic level, we got a yellow dot. That's, again, another HSI dot back late October. That kind of action, early action, is like an indication of what's to come. Important. So let's take that for what it is. Everyone's looking at that regression channel, clear trend channel. So the traders, big guys pushing money around, are, they're saying that's it for now. At least some reactive resistance right around 38K. The other thing that a lot of other people are looking at, let's highlight this. So everybody is going to become a Fibonacci expert really soon. I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing a lot of influencers and guys that talk projects. They're throwing up harmonic levels. It's, they say Fibonacci, okay, 382. Your 382 level is basically 36. And that's, I would say that's critical and important. Your 50% retracement level on Bitcoin is around 42. And then the big one, the big primary harmonic ratio, the 618, is like 48.7. That makes sense to me. So expect that 382 level to generate interest. I think people will try to short that. But what you'll see is you'll get a pause. Pause here, some digestion, as I like to say, before we move higher. Why? It's a process. Look, you need buyers to have sellers and sellers to have buyers. And the market, doesn't go straight up, at least not yet. And certainly not simply at a 382. I talk a lot about character of price action as defined of where you are within the framework. And the 382, folks, that's a starting point. It's 36,000, I would say, on the button. But that's a starting point. Really, where the acceleration begins is after that, we get up to the 50 level. That's where we should see stuff to move. Once you digest that 382, then we get to the 50, 43 to 48. And that will come quickly. So what I'm looking for, let this thing come in, and then if we got a nice pattern or something there, that would be good. So let's stick with that. Hold on 1 second. You guys hear that? You heard that. Anyway, that's my man Richmond. Good guy. Good man. Anyway, so be aware of that. Not anything to be FOMOing just yet, but hey, we get a yellow dot, just like we did back on the 27th. It's going to be something like that. The dot will trigger, and then you start to look for the breakout. Most people are going to say this is kind of a wedge formation and wait for the breakout. I'm okay on that too. The little trend line, give me some, do some work and go. So everybody, that's the plan. That's the plan. Let's complete the top five. The top five, we got XRP did a loco move yesterday. I guess that was fake news on the ETF, but we know how Bitcoin responded. First time it was fake news. The second time it was a go. And I do think the broader ETF world will be printing on your top crypto assets in the years to come. First we'll get Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. That will flood money in. And this is all about, again, just an asset allocation cycle, and it's speculation. All right. So stick to the levels. Let's target stuff like this for XRP. I still think, first we make a run to 92 cents. I thought we'd get that yesterday because it seemed like it was a go. And they smacked it down, fake news. But I'm looking like 92 before the end of the year, and then we see. So you guys let me know. Hey, you're free. Feel free to shill me your favorite coins, especially those T coins, because those T coins finally have woken up, and we got lots of patterns looking left, and they're coming to life. And don't worry about last week. Last week was like a first thrust, big start to the process. Hey, we're here. Start paying attention to us. XRP. How about Ethereum? We can put that as number 3. I'm not crazy. I keep saying this. I'm not crazy about Ethereum, but of course it will be something that is a part of the cycle. Interestingly enough, though, it's lagging to Bitcoin, where your big patterns go all the way back here. It's a bat. No, it's a crab. It's a crab down at the low off of this. There you go. So all time off of this bear market cycle, T1, target 1, 24.85. And that also makes sense because what is this pattern? I mean, it's not only is it a basic crab pattern where your 1618 level is more important because it's a normal crab. B point is at a 618. The B point matters, folks, in the M and W formations. That's like the primary discovery for in terms of identification. I feel that really cracked this wide open. But big crab pattern, beautiful retracement pattern, and just taking time. Why? It's crypto. But no doubt those levels, 24.85, still objective. Now, Ethereum's got something interesting that is going to be kind of a strategy play going forward, that with bearish patterns we want to pay attention to. And that is the failure of bearish patterns as we get off of the lows, do some kind of, I mean, this already looks like it's blasting through. XA level and confirmation all came in around 1900, but it blasted through. So early violation, but what we want to see is a little pullback pause. And then once you digest that, start to move up again. All right, that's a pretty strong move into that crab pattern, and it's a daily, which is good. I mean, daily signals. We see daily HSI. That's telling us something. I mean, notice, there's the yellow dot, okay, with T1 designation. But if you're looking after the dot, which is primary strategy here, saying, all right, I'm looking somewhere at 1900, and it just annihilates it, that's telling you something. This is kind of a flawed dud area that clearly, once we take out that high and exhibit the continuation, you got more to go. So it's setting up in an interesting way. Something to note also about indicators. I don't like to try to make them too complex, other than we want to coordinate extreme readings in zones. This is standard RSI. Excuse me, that's amplified RSI. Here is standard RSI. All right, overbought, but they've been hanging in the overbought level for almost a month now. When that happens, that's really a sign of expansion. If we were to turn up here, not get out of the zone, RSI is right at about 70.05 level. And if we turn back up, that would be a bigger continuation signal than even just the extreme reading. Important. And we'll look at the QQQ and the SPY in a couple of minutes because they're trying to do the same thing. So that's Ethereum. Let's call that number 3. Number 4, why not? Why not? We got to talk about this. So Solana. Remember when we thought, maybe that could go to 30? Yeah, that hit 65 over the weekend. I'm pretty impressed. We are clearly overbought. Now, let's just think in terms of harmonic patterns. Oh, where'd that go? What happened there? We are looking at, I don't know why that's disappearing. We have a little crab pattern, weekly basis. Where'd it go? It just keeps coming off. It's not a Gartley. Well, it is, but the crab is a better formation. Not sure why that's coming off. That's okay. Still, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing do a pause here. Now, the big pattern, we've been looking at a bat on the weekly or even a shark. Yeah, there's that's showing, that feeds Binance showing the it's a failed Gartley clearly. I'm more interested in the big zone down here, the shark zone. That was around 1238. That was amazing. But now probably the bat is better way to go with this because 4750 is critical. You see it pausing after trying to poke through. If we could come back, retest that, that would be bottom line support. I'm not long Sol, wish I was, but I will be paying attention to this. I'm looking for opportunities. Maybe we get a 4-hour that comes back and retest that, because once we pop out of the zone and we can make our way, especially any close above last week's high, there's only one target to consider. Target 1. And that's how we should treat a lot of these weekly structures. Same with XRP, as we've seen Ethereum and Bitcoin demonstrate. That is the target for the move. Now, going to take months. Maybe we even just kind of be conservative, not get crazy and say this could be something that happens into the halving. But target 1 on Solana, that's the objective. We'll see if we can get something like this. We do have a 4-hour HSI. So that has my attention. That triggered what, yesterday? Last night, down around 51. Would want to see, we don't get the dot every time, but look at the last several instances. All right, a couple back here in September, 2, 3. We did get a dot back in early November, and that would be the next level. So eyes on generally 50 for that. Not sure if you're going to get much more of a pullback. And I don't think, even if we get down to 47, that could be the limit based off of that pattern. Important to line up your levels, folks. Really, I just think this is, you're at a point where you definitely want to understand within the framework where it is and how far it could go. Now, what's number 5? I guess, yeah, let's probably one of the leaders coming off the low is Chainlink. Really impressive. That tripled. But now you definitely have a little pullback here. HSI. All right. This is the beginning of the process. somewhere around 14, maybe a little bit lower. Hourly chart, we had a, hold on, let me make sure I've got all my patterns turned on. It was not, yeah, we do. 14. I'm looking here at 14. I thought I had a bat pattern here earlier. Yeah, alternate bat. But that is the kind of structure we want to see. Listen, get a retracement, some kind of M formation within the uptrend, and look for confirmation, price action turnaround. A lot of people would simply look at it like this. You know, give me a trend line breakout for that to be a continuation like that. That's the thinking, but it's been on a hell of a run. But doesn't mean everything's going straight up forever. The long-term chart looks like this. I mean, that's remarkable. I think this hit the 382 off the high to low recently. Have like this. You go to high to low range. No, not even at 382 yet. 382 would be 23 bucks. We are trying to get out of this HSI, so by definition, yes, you're overbought. What you're looking for any kind of continuation is this thing, little brief turnaround, brief pullback, and then make the march, continue the march. For now, be patient with it. I probably come Thursday, we will have you'll have some dots looking left. That actually probably going to be the title of the presentation. You know, looking left for 2024, because we want to be there. A few more. What are you guys doing? What are you guys looking at? I'll show you a few that I'm looking at. And probably the one in sympathy with Solana is Avalanche. And this is playing catch up, but big patterns there. I mean, that's an all-time bat at the weekly. That was down around 10 bucks. Notice how we kissed the bottom end of the range, the pattern range. That's common. The big event will be close above 19.5, and then you will do some real separation from the zone and start to begin your march. I target one. You know, that's my strategy, is even if it takes the whole year, that would still be an amazing move. But understand that the acceleration comes above the patterns. And we did have, what's on there? Yeah, we've got some 4-hour. Yeah, that's a yellow dot on the 4-hour. Also, another bearish pattern. Bearish patterns are okay, because if it's really strong, you want to see this stuff bust through those levels. I mean, there's where the pattern, you know, first, if you're thinking some kind of pullback, well, the first spot was basically 3 days ago. You formed the dot, and then when it went to retest, it just blasted through on the retest, and now a high level HSI, which again, we've seen. I'll go to this in the Qs and the SPY, because what happens on the violations, you just blast through the levels, and you then get the follow through. So, couple more. I'll take just a couple. Show me your favorites, and I'll just take a couple here of what you guys are looking at. I do think there are more opportunities now, and maybe even day trade this, short-term trade this when we get targets or hourly patterns. We've had a bunch of interesting 5-minute patterns that, even if you were actively trading futures, stuff like that, we've had a number of these. Where's the, yeah. Yeah, a lot of type 1s there. Couple more. Let's look at, this is really interesting. Ethereum Classic. Because of the weekly pattern, another one of these that when we go back and this can finally get out of this range here, where's the butterfly? Where's my butterfly? There you go. This is one of the patterns that I think you position in here anywhere under 20 because XA level is at 20 bucks. Notice, and this applies to any longer term structure, that you have to get above the XA level. It's been rejected twice. This is a second test to try to get above 20. On the first run, smack back down. But now, your bigger event, and this is across the board, pretty much a close above last week's high on all of them. But early and making progress, though. Few more. What's up, Daniel? You saying OP? I have seen that. What is that? Is that the optimism? Or is that OP's here? What is OP Tether or OP, I guess, OP coin? There's an optimism coin, but he's saying OP. Didn't that have, that had some stuff, yeah, on the daily bat pattern. Notice we're hitting target 1. Okay, rejecting again with a bearish pattern. But this also sets up where we would love to see that come back. You're 176, maybe drop down 30 cents. But this is what I mean by doing the reaction and then you hit it more on a breakthrough or at least a return level for the type 2. Retest the pattern. Always looking for reaction on the first move, like there. Come back down. Now, I would have been great if it hit XA. But that's the kind of strategy with bearish patterns. Let it come back, line up 147, and get some confirmation and go for the next move. I think a lot of these have stretched for now, but, you know, give it some time. A couple more. What's up, Tubes? Wants to look at Immutable X. I don't know why I've been hearing a lot about that, but I'm not a project guy. I'm a harmonic pattern guy, and I'm trying to look at this almost from an unbiased perspective of saying, show me the nicest patterns, especially if they have a big market cap, and play it that way for the accumulation cycle. Now, here's what's that? Immutable X, IMX. What do we have here? It's a bad pattern on the daily and crab currently. And we can't get dismissive. We always want to look at that and say, all right, it actually is a type 2. How do we know? Software is going to label the T1 and T2. So this is what it looks like. There was the T1 on IMX, and it got rejected in a crazy move, crazy reaction, but that's expected, and came right down to target 2. Now for the retest. This is, at least for now, I mean, I'm not, this is not a long position for me yet, but this does really exemplify the kind of reaction we see, really steep. You go from 116 down to 73 and right back. That's crypto. If we line up levels, there's significant opportunities in price action like that. For now, I'd be looking for some kind of, where are we on the indicators? Nothing there yet. I would expect some kind of consolidation. Let that come down. Don't chase it. Just line them up. Really, that's what we're doing here. We're lining them up. And I think you want to look at population of these. You're not going to catch every one. But when they go on discount, like they did in the last 48 hours, that's when we're getting ready. Couple more. Chili's, yeah, that's a T coin. T coin, toilet coin. All right, what's that mean? Generally, these crypto under a billion and top 100 projects or so, because the thought here is you're buying these things where they're a few hundred million and then they go 5 or 10x to a couple billion. It's happened last time. Not wouldn't be surprised to see that again, and with patterns. So we did discuss this last session, but and we got our arrows here. This is a part of patterns looking left, and I would say that 5 cent range, 5.5 was the lowest. We've been looking at Chili's since 11.4, 11.3. But what happened? You were still within the constraints of the downtrend until, like the rest of them, August, September, before it really made progress. Hey, Riley, what's going on? Thanks for the shout outs on Twitter. I hope you're doing well. Sure, I'll look at TSCO in a second. We just looked at Solana, guys. I'll look at synthetics in a second. Let's stay within the groups, financial, AI, the gaming. You certainly have categories here. Band or bond? Band looks like this. Where'd you go, band? Here's band. Maybe I haven't looked at that in a while. Coinbase. Yeah, look, back to back. You're up here. We're hitting some resistance, no doubt, on a lot of these that did make a big thrust up. Shark pattern. That was down at $1.20, but target one would still be at 178, and that's still just type 1 reaction. What's weekly look like? There you go. I mean, this is okay, remarkable. This is what we're trying to capture. And these ranges do matter. A lot of people ask me, well, is this realistic to take a measurement from such an extreme high to low? Yeah. And your first target would be 382s across the board. But that could be it for the whole cycle. But they're clearly higher. You're looking for exactly this. If it was a stock, I talked about super bases last time, but stock, trendline breakout, basic TA stuff, higher lows, get some obvious breakout above the basing resistance, but you're still going to do some work. Yellow dot for what we do, HSI came in around 130. Again, go to the 4-hour. Just let that trigger something on band. What do you have? Oh, all right, so you do have a pattern. Oh, it flashed the T2 on that swift sell-off last week. But that's exactly the kind of retracement pattern within the uptrend we're looking for. A couple more. The AI stuff. So you guys know I've been talking about Fetch AI for a long time. That was one of the select ones we have featured. Big patterns. Got up to 44 and rejected, but still all right. The big daily, weekly formation. Yeah, alternate bat right now. I mean, really about was this XA level around 18 cents. Now, I think, and I've been doing this for like a week. I was trying to draw this down, say, yeah, let it come back to like 34 and then explode. And that is still the case. If we get to 34.5 cents, I would be looking for intraday 4-hour pattern, hourly pattern at that larger level. Hold on, let me get a little sip of coffee. A couple more. Hey, Jeffrey. Yeah, Compound. That's one where Compound, privacy coins, privacy crypto, whatever, had a lot of patterns down at 32. And we talked about that earlier this summer. Did a crazy move, 3x move, almost got all the way back down to the crab, but not quite. Yeah, look at all those patterns. So this is definitely one of those where it's tough to see. You know what, Scott? What do these patterns mean? Like I see a bunch of squiggly formations, MW, shark, crab. Just know, okay, that these are, treat them as consolidation cycles. Come up, retest, come up, higher low, and now, all right, we have a bearish pattern. Let it do its thing. Let it do its reaction, and maybe as low as 46. I don't have any confirmation on it yet, but this is the idea. Let me blow it up. Across the board, you want to see stuff like this, and you want to see the reaction. So that trigger, where's HSI? Not there yet. Maybe a little bit more downside, but come there and then go. And the thought being, okay, you come down, you do the retracement, and then if you're going to bust the base, all right, you would absolutely annihilate it, do something straight on through, big surge without question, no confirmation on the retest, and fail the pattern. That is the thought. I mean, it's the same deal as what we're looking at in the stocks. Couple more. TLOS. Didn't that pop, or what was good guy, Lieutenant Ponzi? I don't know what TLOS. Was it TAI? Was it TAI, guys? Or TIA? There's the dyslexia again. TIA? Right? Celestia? Yeah, he brought that to my attention. I don't know what that is, but that's a huge move. You can't chase it. I'll show you one that we looked at last time and did an insane correction. Where'd you go? TRB. I mean, that was a tenner. Did 10x move. And there you go. All the way back down. But look, yellow dots on a 4-hour. I'm not, this is not one that I'm into, but it is the kind of confirmation on the downside where you could start the process. Like if you thought this was just end all be all, hey, this is going to go to the moon, I still want to see oversold signals. And this gave us a number, you know, here and there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just in the last 3 months. So you'll get them. You just be patient on it. Yeah, that was a crazy one. We did Chili's and one or two new ones that you guys. Yeah, there's Ponzi. What's up, Ponzi? Welcome, my man. Hey, I got a phone call yesterday, so I couldn't follow you, get back to you on the Twitter, but you know, good to correspond. The LCX, what is that? At least looking for something new. Do I even have it on my screen? No, I don't. Let's look at what's LCX. It's a new one, so I'm on the fly here. LCX token. Okay, looks like a T-coin candidate. And check out LCX, so thank you. There you go. Nice one. Who said that? What's up, Leo? Cactus Leo in the house. Great to see you. XA level, 4 cents. Good one. That represents the kind of thing we want to see where we know longer term, okay, it got destroyed. It has a big pattern looking left, just basing, taking its time, but it would still be a target one objective at 8 cents. I like that. And you have a 4-hour pattern within that zone. What's the weekly look like? All right. Just so you know, and this is something one of the strategies that I'm really going to get into of how to approximate these moves. What are the critical retracement levels? A lot of people would just say, okay, look at the static highs, lows, 13 cents. I'd be more inclined to say, do the last swing, tell me about your 382 to 50 level, and then maybe an 886. Against the whole cycle, all-time 886s or 1618 moves are going to be something that once it gets going, you'll want to pay attention to. I think even the ones that aren't going to work, if you get a bid to them, the cycle gets crazy, they will do minimum 886 retracements. If that is, I don't know, something like Litecoin. Litecoin's got lots of patterns looking left. It's sitting down. We've been talking about that since 60, now 70, and still early. There you go. There's Litecoin. Trying to make a higher low, that's critical. And then the daily on Litecoin, there you go. Some patterns, 66. Still within this basing formation, but look, at least your weekly, you're out of the downtrend, okay, and just doing the work you need to. Yeah, fireworks will happen, okay, well above these static highs. So if that's $100, but how do you know once it does bust that move, where is it going to go? We can do minimum approximations. Again, this is all basic stuff, but the harmonic scale, 382, 186, 50 level, 230, something like that. Just go with the minimums and just stick with the minimums. Yes, if it did something crazy or just another 886 cycle move like that, and let's say it does get crazy and it busts on through up to 360. I'm not saying that's where it's going, just from a measured level to understand when it does get crazy and you get up to there, and you don't see an explosion through, we're going to make the assumptions that that's it for now. Same thing here. Last cycle, XAB, that's a bat formation. Minimum on that cycle was 886. Same thing here. We'll do that with Bitcoin. I mean, that's going to be Bitcoin's framework for sure. Couple more, and then I got to get to the markets, the other markets, major markets. They are doing what they were supposed to do. Some Metaverse, folks, early, starting now. If it's Decentraland, Mana, or Sandbox, we know these have patterns. Now, the first thrust, these are really first thrust phenomenon. A lot of them been basing, look like they were going to go to 0, 31 cents, but now, let me really blow this up. It's tough. If you don't really blow it up and see it and outline the levels, it's going to look like a bunch of garbage. You'll have a lot of clutter on your chart. So do blow it up, but give me a reaction back down, and then maybe even to target 2, which makes sense because there's XA level, and then launch. Remember, bearish thing, not necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to have to go through that digestion process. Couple more. We did FET. Claire wants to look at Jasmy. The only thing I've heard about that, it's the, don't hold me to it, it's the Japanese Bitcoin. That's what I heard. but it has patterns, patterns 3.3 to 3.8, excuse me, 0.38, 0.33 cents. But you see what happens when you run into a 1618. All right, come back to 4.48. Let it do its thing, and then from there go. That's kind of the event that's shaping up on a lot of these that did form patterns like this, especially T coins. So yeah, we'll look at, I'll go to Coinbase in a second. Who said CJ? What's up? Stellar Lumens. That's another one, kind of a sleeper. You got patterns there, but they're taking their time. And probably XRP is the sympathy play there. But there's XLM. Nice. Gartley on the daily. And it did get, almost exact target 1, 13.75. Remember, we looked at this earlier in the year at 8 and did a huge move, then came all the way back. I wouldn't be surprised, again, give me the T2. Get me back down to like 10 and then go. Just on principle, that would be for me the ideal spot, and it would say, okay, that low, that pattern's confirmed. Type 2, type 1 reaction to target 1, type 2 reversal to target 2. Think of it in minimum conservatively, and then if it's going to be a moon phase, when you get to 16, you're going to explode through. One or two more, then yeah, let's go to the stocks. Ocean AI, just another one of these AIs that this is. I mentioned last time I like this because you've done a lot of work this year, basically putting in a floor at 28. But where's the? That's what I thought. Again, the whole data feed thing. So Binance or Coinbase, I think, give you a bigger history. By definition, though, on the Binance feed, so Ocean is a type 2. And it was a type 2 at 40. But confirmation was back at 17. This is, let's do it this way. The other thing that a lot of people are looking at, just standard trend lines. But we know we have something looking left here. And didn't want to pop the zone yet. The big event will happen above 49 cents, but you're probably looking at a lot of confirmation 30s, 33, 35. And that's okay. That's where all along since the summer, right? We have been talking about positioning now, October into November, for the run, for especially into halving into next year. That's it. That's the deal. So we're still in positioning phase. I don't think that's too much to conceive. We are. I think you get some blast off runs. Yes, Solana, that did a blast off run, but relative to the weekly pattern, you're still contained by the zones. You got to break out of the zone, and then you get your acceleration. That's a framework strategy. That's understanding not only the pattern, but what the price action is doing at those various spots. And again, it'll take on it'll be a different creature above 49. For now, these runs, that's a double. It doubles, comes back, but we're just trying to grind here and put in more price action as you go. Interesting stuff. Let's go to coin, guys. Bring those other ones next time, and I'll get into it. So what about the stocks like Coinbase and MicroStrategy? Yes, I know it's MicroStrategy, but MicroStrategy, because he's all in. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody just say, "Hey, I'm gonna back up the truck I'm going to put it all on black and go. Coinbase, it's another basing formation. These are the zones from long ago, and this is what a base does. A basing formation, initial low, secondary low, and stair step your way where the bigger moves come on a close above 115. What's the daily? There's the daily. Yes, I knew there was something there. It's a small crab. So everything that started from back in September, October, some of them just in recent weeks, they did this little 1618 extension. Basically as far as it could go for now. We're trying to do the little pullback. So 88.29 or just 88 bucks would be the spot that give me the pullback and then the launch. We're not in launch phase yet. Let's go to micro strategy, Michael strategy. Up here, overextended at 500. I think I've traced this out before. Just it's this shark formation. You know, not ready to give it up yet. Right at up, like basically there's your 113, and let that come in. Listen, you're overbought on the daily. That's the deal for right now. And triggering 1, 2, 3. So not ready. I mean, I was last week, you know, I was looking at this and wanted to swing hard, but I had a little 5-minute pattern. Going back here, but just tradable. That's it. I think the daily time frames are, you know, they're overbought. Overbought. Where's my, sorry. Oh, it's extended hours. That was on the 5-minute pattern. You had something, you had some stuff back here. Yeah, it was a 486. But these were just type 1, reaction type 2. And now you're lower, but I still go back, listen, to the 4-hour time frame. You want to see stuff on a 4-hour time frame. You really want to be oversold? Give me some 4-hour oversold readings. And we're hitting now, but that might be a day or two before it generates. But that's the plan. I mean, that is the strategy, and we did have some patterns back here to the left. Also, another example of a bearish structure. Check this out. So you had a shark early October, amazing, right? But still fulfilling the type 1. And then finally over to the type 2, there's the dot. You're looking right after the dot, it explodes through. That's the kind of phenomenon on a lot of the things that we've looked at earlier, where you wanted to do the 1, you wanted to do the 2, and then blast through. That's how you know something larger is happening. I'll highlight those as they come to us. Right now, we're in a type 1 reaction. Evan, what's up? GBTC, let's cover that Thursday. We know the deal. Like GBTC and the ETH, those markets, they actually have massive patterns. Their GBTC did hit the target 1. We'll get to that Thursday. I really want to move on to the markets. I really want to talk about the big levels. SPY, our objective minimum for this move was 440.89, and it was because of the bearish patterns where we've been looking for really 411. Remember that 411? Now it was a bat pattern at the low. But it's the smaller pattern. It's showing a bat now, but it's really been about the crab. This crab, let me get to that. There you go. Type 1, type 2. This has been our model since the summer, really, August, September, and it, you know, for me, there was no confirmation there. I mean, we knew 411 was huge. Not to say that this can't be realized. It was realized. But tough call. I like to see yellow dot confirmation on these retests. But we knew 411 was critical and straight to target 2. SPY. Talk to me by Friday. But let's isolate the bearish pattern because we're back here on the retest. It's a type 2. It matters. This is where understanding of levels, understanding of confirmation and framework are huge for the entire analysis of where is it going? Where is it going? We had the type 1 of the bearish pattern. That was 419 and nice back-to-back dynamics, but now, so we're back in the zone. Our objective was minimum 436. And then the bullish pattern, why did we say 440.88? Was because that was the target 2 for off the crab pattern. Type 1, go to target 1, reaction. Type 2, go to target 2. Now, I want yellow dot. Yellow dot, what is that? Well, you get HSI first, which is here. Okay, so that's first step confirmation. But we still go through this process of 2 or 3 bars before, you put the stamp on it. And within that window, so really yesterday was the first day to start looking at bearish possibilities. Bearish. But that's okay. Bearish possibilities. Tell me what's happening today and tomorrow. You're actually expanding up, so you're early on any bearish deal. Standard RSI looks like it wants to make a run. And standard RSI does not trigger nearly as many signals as I think people, genuine overbought, oversold extremes. This one trending up into that zone, you're 69.75, really close. So you probably get there in a day or two. But it's against this range, where pattern range, pattern level says maybe you go to 451 up to the hop and then get a yellow dot up in here that you're going to challenge the highs. All right, is this going to do something more than just a secondary retest? I'm not there yet. I think we have to respect what's going on. I have to respect waiting for confirmation. And if we get up to 451 and change, next couple of days, I'm not surprised. The other thing, the fact that where we're targeting and where we're looking here, all right, at 440.88, tell me what's happening. It's blowing through there. There's no 1 bar turnaround, but that's also a sign. Respect that. Let me take the VWAP off. You respect that. Structurally, you respect that. You say, okay, we can follow through a little bit higher before you get confirmation. But that's been the segment we have discussed, the hop level to T2. Those are the minimums. Now we're going to retest larger resistance, and it's not even, again, going back here, we're looking like even with a simple 886 retracement off the summer peak, 453. So bump it up a little bit higher. 451, 453, and then we'll see. It's been a strong move, couple gaps along the way. Today was another big gap. There's a gap. We're kind of on a rope for now. You're early on any bear scenario, but that shaping up for a full zone retest. And then Qs, this is, we have talked about 384 for a while. 384, here you go. Now 385 is What is that? It's an alternate bat. That's the biggest structure. But really what it is, it's about this crab, deep crab. Yeah, crab. It's a crab, standard crab. And we see Microsoft strong, big tech, no problem. How high on the weekly basis can this go? 383.96. That was the minimum level. I talked about that in the monthly reports from my members. Why? Because this was just a reaction. We didn't even realize a type 1 move fully. So I would be looking for that in this zone, maybe even a little bit higher until we get HSI. Now, here's the thing where putting together your levels, putting together confirmation with major zones like this can tell us what to expect. The Qs are in a strong spot, and we see that. Look, on a weekly basis, we're just cracking the 50 now. And we typically, I said this last week, when you go from 50 up to overbought, you get acceleration phase like this kind of a thing. And it's a week over a week climb. And that's probably what we're doing. I don't want to say, all right, automatically go to the hop level 418, but it's not anywhere close to triggering overbought yet. Standard RSI hit the 50 level. That has to go back. So what it's adding up to is some kind of year-end run, next few weeks, go back, we're almost ready to take out all-time highs. I think when you get above 388, everyone's just going to say 400 psychological level, there you go. And you go to, say, top 5 tech, if that is Microsoft, which is a beast, monster. Look, 370. It's at the shark. Okay, this was another one. Beautiful. 1618 came down, just a mild reaction. And when we see that and we see the turnaround, this is not anything new for our folks here. We go back and test the zone. So 368.74, that is critical. Microsoft is hitting overbought. A little bit different than the Qs, but doesn't mean that that's just because you're entering the zone does not mean it's a triggered level. In fact, it kind of reminds me, you go back to July 21, where you do some expansion and it was kind of a delayed fact, but you're on a rope here. You go to nominal new highs and then roll down. And that's probably what's going on here with Microsoft. I'm really, that's one of the top ones, that and Apple. And you guys know what I've been saying about Apple. Apple was a type 2. There you go. Just reaction. I think this was on the day. Yeah, the daily. Why? We had a shark. It was a T2 shark. I mean, really nice. And also, yellow dot confirmation was only 7 or 8 sessions ago. For me, that exemplifies why I want to wait on yellow dot confirmation. We hit, there you go, the shark. Yeah, get back here. The shark was all the way back there. The first shark test was August. But the T2 right there, and we hit the bearish target, 167. You guys know I've talked about why 167 was critical, not only for the shark pattern, but to come back and retest this resistance across the board. So if that's 189 or as high as like 195, because that's target 2 on the shark, don't be surprised. I'm really not surprised on that move. There's a lot of things going on there. I just want to take it in chunks. You know, we're trying to, look, here's the, there you go. We are trying to hit some overbought. HSI trying to come out. That's early. Amplified Okay, yes, that's also overbought, but heading back into the zone, that's probably a couple more days, 2, 3 days until that rolls over. So push higher now, push to 189, push to 190 or something, and then we'll see. You want to know how far this is going to go. What are the possibilities here? You're looking at it. So still up. Then some of the others. So the big ones like Nvidia, it's done some interesting things. They have earnings coming up, don't they? Really soon. You're 195 already. Wow. And you had, let me bring it up. I deselected the bat pattern. Look, you did have a bat there, and it was right on the edge. I mean, this was really close. Scraped the low at the hop here, but now blasting through. That, for me, all right, there's still nothing going to stop that. Earnings coming up. What is that? That's Tuesday. That's pretty big. That doesn't stop. You remember also weekly time frame for Nvidia, just so you know, guys. And this is a lot like crypto. We do the same kind of approximation methods. It was a perfect 1618. Perfect, right at the top at 500. And it did kind of that's textbook pause, and then you got bullish confirmation. That should throw it now. I really think up to like a 2.0, or one of the numbers we use is a 1902. That's kind of like a layered approach. I'm a big believer that market stair step no matter what at the levels. And 1902 puts you 567. Something's coming. Something's coming. If we see that rocket ship, yeah, Evan, that's right. If we see that rocket on earnings, it's probably where you go. A few more of those big tech, because they are in an interesting spot. It's really, now we're coming back for the make break. There's Amazon, 146. 146. We were looking for as high as, here it is, the 142 area, because we have some patterns up here. You did have a shark. 119. So if it's a if it's a type 2 return, there's the bat pattern. Came down, slammed a target 1. We're looking 143. We do have, look, there's resistance up here. So don't think it's just going to moon just yet. It very well could, but I need to see a dot. Hit 143. That was the retest point. We do have HSI. This is early, but let's see what happens with this kind of stuff. Like if we roll over in the next day or two, that would be confirmation on the T2. Then we'll see. Then we would see. But the return phase, look, it's tricky. It doesn't go on every time. But when it comes, especially with back-to-back patterns like this, you usually do get this kind of aggressive return. This is also the kind of phenomenon I would be looking for on crypto, where you set up some bearish patterns and then we can form some bullish patterns on the return phase. That helps the whole structure. I mean, that matters. That back-to-back thing matters. One or two more on these. Netflix was another one where we had a bunch of patterns down at there's 347. And we had this bearish pattern where we're saying, okay, let that come back to 437.58 on the retest. So this is another one. I mean, this stuff looks really strong at the moment, but I'm hyper focused. I'm hyper focused. I think if we really want to push it and Netflix wants to run to the hop at 478, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're in the window. We're in the window, still strong, trying to follow through, but let's stay on top of this, because we could do a little 1 bar, 3 bar reversal and basically cap what's going on. I'm not in the moon phase on this. Above say 478, and let's say Nvidia, Microsoft do spectacular things. Yeah, maybe. But this is a narrow market rally. And that's I think you can't lose sight of the fact that the bulk of these returns are your top 7, top 10, mostly tech, that are running the markets. So take that for really, take it now, and let's understand there is a process to all of this. I mean, NASDAQ futures up 325. That's amazing. Bumping at the 886 for the high for the year. There's your weekly. Weekly is a bat. It is a shark. No one's looking at that. Let me show you the shark or even crab. And I'll simplify it for you. Let me take off the alternate bat. It really is, we could say patterns all day long. What's going on is all about this last ditch move from last year is a big 1618 expansion, impulse, harmonic impulse wave, as I like to call it. Let me make it bigger. And we're back at the XA level, 15,759. No confirmation here. I like to follow dot to dot. That's the HSI dot. So until we can form something on the weekly, and here you are, like again, same as the Qs, you're only at the 50 level. That should tell you something that's going on where, hey, if we want an ideal situation, we're not even close to triggering it. So let's just kind of reason it out where we could go as high as that hop level at 17,183. That's not a crazy thought. Maybe it takes you into January to do so. All-time highs are back here at around 16,800, 16,785. But that's what's happening. And, in a year-end rally, low volume, no one wants to get in the way of that. That put that together as the story. That's not something crazy. But that's how it's shaping up. It is remarkable. Yeah. One or two more. So what about the rest of the market? Okay. Yeah, these big cap stocks, they're doing great things, but what about the rest of the market? And we've had a number of old economy and stocks like here's Coca-Cola, the weekly. We've talked about that. It's a type 2 Gartley, nice pattern structure. That's the kind of thing you want to see in stocks like this. A few other ones like Kraft Heinz. Come on. I always get that symbol wrong. Kraft Heinz. I said Kraft Heinz. Stock KHC. That's what I thought I had. Big, weekly, daily, weekly. And let me make sure I got all my... I keep turning them on and off. Yeah, I do. This is a daily. Down here, there you go. Beautiful deep crab. Now, these type of stocks, they might even be a friendlier market to trade because they happen slowly. And once you get things like confirmation, 3-bar breakouts, you play it to target. That's 35.58. But that's a really solid move. And we've seen other things like Target. Okay, 110 still hasn't done really what it should do to get out of the zone, but 136 is the objective. I'll give you another one here, Lowe's. This one popped today finally. And this is, really speaks to the delayed nature. It's look, if you don't understand the patterns, just do understand that the critical zones, the critical areas where we're looking for the turnaround. I always believe that these kind of moves happen in phases. They are processes that have to go through many bars, 30 bars, 20 bars, to before they can make the larger thrust, and that one's to 212. One other one. We've done in the past Taiwan Semi. Okay, Taiwan Semi at 98. Big patterns down here are 84. It was a shark. It was a few things. That's one of the semis. I really think semiconductors are going to be a leader, whatever the next cycle is. So if you're not tracking them specifically, follow that. AMD, 95. Now that's still type 1, but big markets, big patterns. I'm paying attention closely. Lows are off the low. That's right. DXY. Yeah, I'll get to that, Pete. Google, Alphabet, whatever. Yeah, that's another one. Pattern up here. Couple patterns, like 138 on Google. But that did a type 1. That did type 1 and 2. But I'll look for confirmation. And the thing about these markets, your acceleration happens above the hop level. You have to fail these patterns. So that's really what you're looking at. You're just challenging all-time highs here. And those guys are going to be big winners. I mean, no doubt about it. All this government money is getting funneled to the top tech. That's why. I think government came in and decided to be half the economy with all the spending. Let's save that for another conversation. One or two more things I want to highlight before we get out of here. So, crude oil. Crude oil has been getting decimated, but we knew that target 2 was incoming. Target 2, it's this big bat pattern on the weekly, $70, $70. And that, I'm watching that closely. Crude oil has not done much, but the T2 with confirmation down here would be a big event. I'm not there yet. It probably is going to be something where they throw those stocks away going into the end of the year. But longer term, that's getting into a nice spot. And I don't think, let's talk to me at 70 on crude oil. And then the other one, even though it seems like it really has a ways to go, gold, sorry. Gold is still all about where'd it go? I think it's on the futures, 1846. 18, here's gold futures. A lot of people ask me about gold. And, eventually gold will continue in the years to come. Yes, it's going to break out. But it's really about retesting. What happened? Hold on. Let me switch. And when I flip to different charts, there you go. No. There you go. Gold futures. 18. Come on. Daily time frame. Yeah, it's look, it's a Gartley, 1846. There it is. Nothing changes on this recent move, but gold's coming into a seasonal time. It's usually December to January, you get a pump. So I think you get back to 1846. What are you looking for in gold? Something that's like a permanent low, or at least a pivot low that you never look back on. I think that's on the next retest, and then you could really do something. Hope that answers a lot of the gold questions. One or two more, guys. Yeah, you guys, do you want to look at dollar index? Maybe really quick. DX, DXY, nice 3-bar breakdown, but it's a target 1 at 106. I think we discussed that. And if this is, and it is, trendline break from the summer September run, you're in return phase. So that will help the markets. You know, you're definitely trying to end this, you know, the pressure that the dollar has put on the markets. I'm not going to say it's a complete collapse, but let it come down. And if you want to follow the dollar so you have some perspective on what the markets can do, that's probably it. That's probably where you have to come back to 100 on this. Markets should realize some nice gains if that continues. And then finally, let's just wrap it with rates, because so rates never got above, and this was the big pattern all along, bat pattern up here at 5% on the 2-year. 2-year has been critical. That's a big candle for today. And again, another secondary market, you get some insight like, all right, if the market's really going to give things up and we go into a type 1 pullback, which is likely, probably just took time. Your last dot was bearish up here. And I always said, if you're going to have problems with rates where they spike, it would have to be on the failed move above the hop, not happening. 4.42 doesn't mean that this cycle's over, but we are clearly now into that pullback phase, target 1 on the bat. That's going to help the market in general. So if we see that, we see a continued breakdown in rates, the dollar, that's going to explain why, say, Qs will go much higher than the 384 limit, where maybe you go to as high as 400 and change on the Qs. So let's circle back on Thursday. Look, I'll have some new ideas. I'll have some, hopefully we'll get a couple crypto to trigger for that next leg, and a couple individual stocks, some new things. You know, things are, despite the fact that Microsoft and big tech are running, a lot of things are not, and a lot of things are just starting to turn. And that's what we'll talk about on Thursday. All right. Look, get over with here. Get over to the Black Friday special. Go to harmonictrader.com. Become a basic member. And now's the time to get with the software. Now's the time for everything to get ready for 2024. And that is what we've been saying for really since the summer. All right, folks, back here, 12 noon Thursday. You have any other questions, get on me on Discord or send me an email, harmonictrader@gmail.com. Thanks, folks. Have a great one. Go get them. See you Thursday.